We're in an AI revolution, and some people will get very, very wealthy. DIY investor Bilaal Dhalech, well, he wants to be one of them. He's holding 3 AI investments he believes will lead the way, but has he really bought the future or just bought into the hype? Well, we're going to give him 6 minutes to make his case. You think he can pull it off, Bilaal?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, let's get into it then. You're watching Inside My Portfolio. Hello everyone, welcome to Inside My Portfolio, where we challenge financial influencers to defend their top investments in a race against the clock, and along the way, help you learn how to make smarter investing decisions of your own. I'm your host, Rob Moise, and joining us is Bilaal Dhalech, founder of BD Investing. He's a DIY investor and trader who shares his approach to over 300,000 followers online. Bilaal, welcome to the program. Great to have you.
Always great to be here.
Now, before we dive into your portfolio, Bilaal, just give us a sense of who you are as an investor, your risk tolerance, your time frame, all that good stuff.
So off the bat, I'm a long-term investor, but my main focus is to do thematic investing in tech growth. And I like to take a more aggressive approach to the market because I want to reach $1 million portfolio in the next 10 years.
That's incredible stuff. And I mean, you're going to need to have some high risk tolerance in order to do that in such a short time frame. What makes you comfortable taking on that kind of risk?
I'll be honest, I've had days where I lose sleep, but you know what? Once I saw the sacrifice and I saw the amount of growth I've already seen in the portfolio, it kind of reiterates my position and makes me more confident on my investing skills. So I'm here for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have a long runway too, so you got some time to make it work too. Okay, great stuff. Well, listen, Bilaal, we're going to go inside your portfolio. You've got 3 stocks, 2 minutes apiece, 1 unforgiving countdown timer, and no holds barred. For those watching though, a quick disclaimer: we're going to be talking to Bilaal about some of the investments that make sense for him, but they might not make sense for everyone. So take our discussion as food for thought in your own investing process rather than explicit financial advice. With that said, let's start the clock now. So Bilaal, the first one on your list, and this is actually an ETF, it's the Roundhill Memory ETF. Tell us, what is it? Why do you hold it?
Yeah, so ticker DRAM is the first of its own. It's a thematic ETF that invests solely into memory stocks. Now, I like this because I'm very bullish on memory. More specifically, it owns 3 stocks. That's 70% of the ETF is concentrated in 3 stocks: Micron, Samsung, and SK Hynix. Now, there's only 3 companies in the entire world that make memory chips, and this is why the demand is so high, and this is why this is the bottleneck for these 3 stocks.
So there's a lot of demand, obviously, for memory storage, of course, but why not just buy those 3 stocks rather than an ETF and pay fees?
I'm glad you asked because I already own Micron, but the problem is it's very difficult for Canadian and US investors to invest in Samsung and SK Hynix because these 2 are Korean companies. They trade on the Korean stock market. So because of that, I tried my best to find ways to invest in these 2 companies. I just couldn't. The best way was through ETFs. So the first one was EWY, which was the Korean stock market. 50% of that was Samsung and SK, but the other 50% was Korean companies I had no idea about. So when DRAM ETF came on the market, I quickly sold EWY, ventured into that one, and hey, so far it's already up almost 80-90% year to date.
One thing about these thematic ETFs though is if you look at the research, it shows that they often underperform the broader market after they get released because all the hype has already been captured by the time this thing actually gets to market. So why do you think this time's going to be different?
Well, those are dangerous words. Why this time will be different? But the thing is, my research, it's really backed by the bottleneck that we're seeing. Now, I don't typically like to chase ETFs, but the reason why I decided to invest in this is because I understand the bottleneck, which is memory. Now, in the last earnings call, we had all major hyperscaler CEOs from Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google, they all said the same thing. Compute is constrained. We do not have enough memory. Now, if every CEO keeps saying the same thing, we do not have enough memory chips, we don't have enough memory chips, they're not just saying that for fun, all right? They're saying that because it's a real problem. That is why I'm going to listen to CEOs. I'm all in.
Okay. Let's get to your second investment, and this one is Lumentum Holdings. What is this? Why do you hold it?
So Lumentum is more of a newer stock. It's gone up a lot this year, but again, it solves the bottleneck in the stock. It solves the AI bottleneck, and the problem we're seeing right now is connectivity, and Lumentum solves that because what it uses, instead of using typical copper cables, which cost a lot, first of all, copper cables cost a lot, they get super hot and they don't move data fast enough. Lumentum, what they do is they provide, it's basically fiber optic cables, and they provide data to the transmission through light. Now, light moves extremely fast, as we all know, and Lumentum solves the problem by making data transfer faster than what you typically would see with copper cables.
But there's so much competition in this space. They may have a novel solution today, but what makes you confident they're going to be able to keep that edge?
See, Lumentum, it doesn't have to be the biggest or the best. The reason why we're seeing demand for it is because there is a bottleneck, there's a problem. We're seeing so much demand with AI data centers. Lumentum can easily be the second or third player and still profit a lot. We're seeing revenue growth expected to almost double, triple by end of 2028. So like I said, I don't need to bet on who's going to be the best. I just got to bet on who's going to be making money and can stay in the game.
But this stock, like many AI stocks, is extremely expensive on a price to earnings multiple. Are you not at all concerned that with these sky high expectations, that like they're almost destined to not be able to reach these high earnings growth that they're going to need to justify these?
I mean, we're seeing, okay, yeah, I understand the PE value is extremely high, but you have to factor growth into it. That's why I use a metric that Peter Lynch uses, which is the price to earnings to growth. If you look at the PEG, it's actually 0.6, well below 1, which is the barrier. So remember, companies like this that are high growth companies solving, problems in the future, you need to factor in growth. And because Lumentum is expected to grow, like I said, 2 times, 3 times by 2028, you have to look at the PEG ratio. So I'm confident in that.
Okay, and you just beat the clock on this one, so well done to you. Let's get to your third one. This is Cameco. What is this? Why do you hold it?
Cameco is a uranium provider. It is a Canadian company, one of my favorite Canadian companies right here at home in Canada. Now, what they do is they mine and they refurbish uranium, and uranium is used in nuclear power. Again, this is somewhat another AI play solving another problem, which is electricity, all right? We're seeing headlines like, oh, data center construction is slowing down. It's not, it's slowing down because we don't have enough electricity on the grid. Now, a lot of news has came out that uranium, nuclear energy, we're seeing Washington, the United States, Canada, both starting to implement nuclear power into the grid. We just had in Ontario over here, Ontario Power Generation is building 4 more nuclear reactors. So nuclear is definitely here to stay. But instead of betting on which company, which utilities company will be making electricity, I'm going straight for the picks and shovels, go for the fuel, which is uranium.
But building nuclear power plants is like an incredibly politically fraught thing, at least if history has told us anything. Why do you think like the nuclear revolution is actually going to happen this time, and you're not just going to be holding this stock waiting for it to come around?
I mean, obviously, because everyone thinks nuclear is very dangerous, and it is. It comes with some risk. But what's more dangerous? Not having electricity for the next God knows how many years, electricity prices rising, because AI is here to stay. Data centers are consuming so much electricity, so much water, right? So the best way to fix this problem is through uranium and nuclear power. And now the governments are also establishing a lot of safety rules. They're providing more training, more ways to handle uranium. So I think, at the end of the day, the government are seeing that nuclear is the best way to solve this problem of AI and electricity demand.
Okay, just 20 seconds left, but why buy this uranium stock, which is really pricey, rather than just buying another one that's cheaper?
Cameco is one of the #1 producers in uranium. Not only that, they also have a stake in Westinghouse, which actually builds reactors. So you have both the reactors bottleneck and you have the uranium play. And it's the #1 company, uranium provider in Canada, so I love it.
Okay, there you go. I'll give you a few extra seconds just to wrap up that thought, but well done. You beat the clock on one time, and you were pretty close the other times. How did you feel under the pressure of the clock?
Oh, I could do this every single day. Let's do 5 more stocks.
Yeah, for real. We would probably need to give you a lot more time to deal with all the angles that you look at these things, but really appreciate you sharing a quick insight into your portfolio. And for those who are listening and you want to build a stock portfolio just like Bilaal, then you can get started on TD Easy Trade. So you can get 100 commission-free trades, partial shares to help you put every dollar to work ASAP, and of course your choice of TFSA, RRSP, FHSA, and cash accounts. Plus, going on right now, you can get $100 worth of partial shares for free if you deposit $2,500 into a new account before June 30th, 2026. What's not to love about that? You can scan the QR code on screen for details. That's it for this edition of Inside My Portfolio. We appreciate you tuning in as always. Take care. See you next time. Peace out.
questions? Check out the links to the right and in the description below.